Hello, everybody, and I'm very happy to be talking to you about some of the career pathways in science. Um, Obviously, a huge subject area, and we're really just going to touch the surface of some of the places that science can actually take you as a career. So I'm going to talk through some of the kind of facts and figures, some of the information that you might need. But as I say, with science being such a vast subject area, it really is important that you find out as much information as you can and speak to teachers and speak to experts and careers people about how to find out more information. So let's just kind of move on. Um, I really like this quote from Professor Whitehouse. He said that science is a wonderful career that can fulfill you like I believe few professions can. Seek out knowledge, embrace experiences, and enjoy the company you make. And whatever you do, hold on and hold on tight, because success in a science career, like success in life, comes from those who can hold on the longest. As someone who has been in a career in science for a number of years before I came into teaching, I can tell you that it is one of those careers where you really do feel like you're on a roller coaster sometimes. There are so many high points and sometimes so many frustrations with scientific research and scientific discovery, but it is incredibly rewarding. Isaac Newton said this famous quote that says, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." And I think that is absolutely crucial when it comes to careers in science, particularly in scientific research. It is very much a team effort. Nobody is successful by themselves. Everybody's new scientific discoveries are always building on the learning and the experiments and the findings of those that have gone before them. Uh, it's an incredibly important aspect of a career in science. So, why is science important these days? Well, it's everywhere in today's world. It's part of our daily lives. So if you think about from cooking and gardening, recycling, comprehending the daily weather report, reading a map using a computer. Advances in technology and science are transforming our world at an incredible pace, and our future, our children's future, will surely be filled with leaps in technology we can only imagine. The term science literate is one that we hear quite a lot, and being science literate will no longer be just an advantage, something that helps you. It actually will become an absolute necessity. We cannot escape from the significance of science in our world. It is all around us. And I think now more than ever, it is important to have an understanding of science, to make sense of what is going on in the world, to try and understand and be able to disseminate information and to be able to make informed judgments for ourselves. We need to be science literate. I'm going to just talk about a few facts and figures now. Okay, just the life sciences sector as an example. Okay, these are government figures. The life sciences sector employs over 160,000 people in the UK. And it's an incredibly diverse and important business sector. Turnover of about £50 billion a year. Okay, forecast growth between those 5 years. Okay, which has now been calculated to be around 36%. So it's a constantly increasing field. But there is a huge skills gap. Okay, in the UK, one of the big, as you can see from the sort of picture on the wheel on the left, okay, a lot of people kind of at the top of that wheel, those are the sort of professions that people think we are in need of. So things like IT and nursing and social work and armed forces and teaching, which is true. Teaching is does have a shortage, but actually a much bigger percentage is around engineering and healthcare, and things like waste management, okay, which is becoming more and more important. And you can see there some of the useful subjects that it to study at A level to help you in that, to fill that skills gap. And one of the big things is the disparity in between boys and girls that are taking some of these subjects. Okay, we know that women represent just under half of the UK workforce. Okay, about 47%, but actually only 13% of them, okay, work in STEM area, so science, technology, engineering, and maths, and that's actually an increase from only about 5% about 8 years ago. And if you look at some of those figures, it's incredible that only less than 6% of engineering professionals are women, 15% of ICT professionals, and 27% of science and engineering technicians. So girls especially, okay, you are needed in the science workforce. Now, there are hundreds of jobs to choose from. Okay, it would be impossible for me to sit here and talk through all of the different jobs that you could potentially do in a career in science, technology, engineering, and maths. But I'm just going to kind of pick out a couple of things here and some of the general skills and things that you need. The Babraham Institute, which is not far from us at Samuel Ward, okay, is a just one of so many local scientific centres around the area nearby to us, and they've got some information there about some of the many roles that people can carry out at their campus. And if we just look, for instance, at the healthcare sector, okay, just in a little bit more detail, there are 50,000 people that work in healthcare science in the NHS, covering all sorts of roles, from nursing, doctors, through healthcare professionals, through social care, all of those kind of things. There's some information and some facts and figures there as to what are the sort of requirements. Okay, there's over 50 different scientific roles in the healthcare sector alone. Healthcare scientists are involved in 80% of clinical decisions in the NHS. There are almost 260 postgraduate training places on the NHS scientist training program for postgrads, and approximately 20 universities run just one example of the healthcare science degree. So you can see how critical healthcare science is and how important it is for you to potentially go and study. Some of the key skills. Okay, now obviously every different science career has different things that you would be required to do, but some of the key general skills that you need in a scientific career are just listed here. So first of all, and perhaps the most important, is the ability to adapt to change. Okay, the complex and rapidly changing world that we live in, adaptability is a marketable skill, okay, in any field, but especially in STEM. Lifelong learning is key. So in the world of science, an eagerness to never stop learning, never stop finding out information, and improving and educating yourself is absolutely essential. The ability to communicate effectively across different cultures, countries, across between different teams, that kind of thing. As I've said already, science is a collaborative focus, and that ability to communicate is absolutely critical. And then finally, creative thinking. Okay, so being inquisitive, thinking creatively will be essential if you are to be successful in a career in science. What about pay? So one of the key things that we're interested in obviously is pay, and Pay varies hugely depending on the sort of sector that you want to work in terms of scientific um, careers. However, as you can see, as you'd expect, medicine and some of the physical and environmental subjects, they pay well. They are highly paid, highly sought after careers. Okay, depending on the sort of area that you want to go into, um, there will be a variety of average starting salaries. Okay, and what about the course that you would study? Well, these are just some of the examples from the Open University. There are hundreds and hundreds of courses, okay? Um, Depending on your interest, depending on your specialism, and of course, depending on where you want to study, okay? It's absolutely critical that you discuss, that you talk to your teachers, that you talk to career advisors about the sort of interests that you have. So, just going to finish with some of our Samuel Ward alumni, some of the students that have been through Samuel Ward and are now successfully forging careers in the science industry. Ryan left Samuel Ward in 2012. He studied chemistry and physics and maths. He went on to do a master's in chemistry along with a PGCE, and he's now a science teacher and head of Year 7 up at Norwich. Megan left Samuel Ward in 2013, and she did biology and chemistry and maths at A level, then did a bachelor's degree in biological anthropology and a master's in human evolutionary studies, and she's currently doing a doctorate in anthropology, researching vervet monkeys. She's at the University of Oxford, and she travels a lot over to the African continent to study monkeys. Billy left Samuel Ward in 2007 with maths, chemistry, and biology A levels. He went on to do a bachelor's in pharmacology and then a degree in medicine, and is now a emergency surgery doctor at Milton Keynes Hospital. And finally, Andrew Quarrell, who many of you will know, he left just a couple of years ago from Samuel Ward, and he is studying at Cambridge. He's a second year medical student doing medicine with genetics. Just some of the fantastic students that have been through Samuel Ward and are now, as I say, forging their careers in science. I'm sure you'd want to know more, so I would encourage you to seek out some, as well as the careers help that we have at Samuel Ward. Use online tools, so the Careers Online and the Target Careers websites will give you loads of information about the different types of skills and the different types of careers that are open to you. I'm just going to finish with some kind of quotes that I think really sort of help summarize and sum up what I think it means to pursue careers in science. Albert Einstein, there on the right hand side, said the important thing is to never stop questioning when it comes to science. Never stop asking those questions. Carl Sagan said somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known. Sometimes we can think that all the interesting discoveries have been made, and all the inventions that there are to be made have been carried out already, but there is still things to be found and things waiting to be known. And Tim Minchin said science is simply the word we use to describe a method of organising our curiosity. Be curious. And I'm going to finish you with a cartoon about why science is important. Stay curious, folks, and good luck.